Hey everybody, welcome back to Still Can't Cook. I am Kelley Fahey, your host, and I am so happy that you're here. I am going to keep you guys updated on all my shit, as I told you I would. So I am just recently back from Miami. And I'm feeling a little down. I'm just putting it out there right now. If you're reading the vibes, they're correct. Something about leaving the sun and coming back to this weather has just got me in a funk. So it's my first day back. I should shut the fuck up with my problems as if that's a real problem. But I did go see On Again, Off Again. I told you guys I'd keep you in the loop with what goes on with him or us. It's a very important part of my life, so it comes up often. Anyway, went back, spent a week in Miami. We had a great time, got along super well, had amazing dinners. We went to this one restaurant where we had, which I've never had before. I'm going to get it wrong. It's king crab, but it's not Alaskan king. It could be Canadian king crab. Something real funky. But like some of the best crab I've ever had. Then we went to an incredible sushi place and we had omakase that was to die for. And we ended up buying, well, I bought nothing. He ended up buying these two really amazingly expensive bottles of sake, and he can do that and good for him. I can't, whatever. But I ended up getting sick. I threw up like a 12-year-old. I threw up out in a 12. You shouldn't be drinking. 18-year-old, well, underage drinking. I don't know what age. I don't have kids. 12 maybe. I don't know. Whatever's right. Whatever age it would be. When you throw up out of the side of a car, I did that. But I was throwing up like the world's most expensive sake. So that happened, but whatever. That was not the highlight. That was just thorn in my trip to see him. But everything was super great, and we had a really nice time. And then I got a copy of my episode, and I watched it. As I opened it up, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, it's an episode." And he said, "I want to watch it with you." Now, every time I do one of these, I see something I say that I go, "Oh, sure, can't say that. Let's get that one line out." One line's ever. I only cut one line. Everything else is just like this. I'm so good at it. But anyway, there's always something I'm like, God, that might piss him off or piss somebody else off. I'm really not, I don't care who else I piss off. We'll get to that. But anyway, so I was literally having a full-on fucking meltdown sitting on the bed because I forget what I say. And I think we've talked about the menopause brain, and if we haven't, I don't know if we have. But I had it. I didn't remember what I said, and I'm like, oh my God, if I say something, is he going to get mad at this? And shockingly, through everything, through all of them, he's watched all of them up to date, he has loved all of them. And he's like, some things like, oh, I wish I didn't say that. But he's like, I always redeem him in the end, which he's redeemed himself, so it's not me. See, another point. Point for Kelley. So we were watching it, and in the episode, I'm not giving it's a cliffhanger now. You're not going to know unless you watch it. But I end up talking about some stuff that I think might get him upset. Not upset at all, completely happy, loved it all. And then I got paranoid and I went to my producer, she can tell you, she's right there. And I said, I need a minute. I need him to watch it again. I got so in my feelings about what if. So he watched it a second time and he was like, Kelley, it's great. It's great. It's your life. Talk about the things you want to talk about. And if anyone's offended, it is what they're. And the one thing I will say, and you should go back and watch it, is when I talk about people and I don't give names and I give specifics about personalities and some kind of things I don't like about people, if I was watching my podcast as a person in the world who was someone I knew, I would never think I was any of those people. So many people ask if they were front of the house, back of the house. If you don't remember, if you don't know, if you haven't seen it, it's one of the things I talk about. But like, if you don't know, you're probably filler. It's like you don't. And if I'm talking about you, if you see yourself in something that I said, and you don't like it, well, then you should take a look at yourself, because there's nothing that I've said about people I don't like that is the truth for me. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not going to watch someone talking about a chick who's mean or nasty or does fucked up things and see myself in it. So if you see yourself in anything I'm talking about, self-inventory, man, that's on you, not me. That being said, what it did bring up for me sitting there with him was I felt really vulnerable. Like, I felt like I got nervous in a way. And one of the things about this roller coaster ride is that there's a lot of parental things, I think. Like, I feel like, oh, I hope he doesn't get scared. And again, he's wonderful, not abusive at any level, no physical, verbal, nothing. Emotional, yeah, a lot. But he's not someone I should be afraid of, right? He's never done anything, never been mean in a way that would be visible to other people. He's done some shit actually, but nothing like this. It's not like he's going to get mad at something I say. So that being said, it brought a lot back to my childhood. And my friends would call me Nervous Nelly. I was fucking afraid of everything. I was afraid to walk alone. I was afraid to be in my house alone. Again, my house, 700 square foot. What am I afraid of? I could see everything. I would see shadows. I jumped out of windows when I was a kid. But one of the things that really stuck out with me and definitely affected me as an adult was I had a speech impediment. And sometimes you probably can hear it. I don't know. I don't hear it myself. It has to be pointed out. My siblings will still let me know when I do it. So at some point, and again, house was too small to shelter me from anything. My mother was on the phone with, I guess, someone from my school who had said I needed to go to speech therapy. In my head, hearing this, I thought I was mentally challenged. I thought, oh my God, I need special help. Because there was special ed school, like there was classes for kids who needed extra help. And I thought, I'm one of those kids now. I got to go for extra help. And I tried to process, like, I'm really good at reading, my comprehension levels. I remember having this whole inner dialogue with myself, talking myself through this moment of finding out that, oh my God, I need some kind of special. And I love special attention, don't get me wrong. But back then I was like, something's wrong with me. Something was wrong. I could not say the letter R. I couldn't say R's in words. Now, most of the time, I don't even know if it would have been that big of a problem. But guess what block I lived on? I lived on Ira Court. My sister's name was Roseanne, and my dog's name was Rusty. So I went to Resurrection. There was no getting around my W's. It was Roseanne, Rusty, Ira Court. Ira Court. I just did it naturally, Ira Court. Like it's court. Ira Court. I can't do that again. See, I just slipped into the speech impediment. Anyway, I couldn't say R's, which would have been fine, except other people were calling my sister Roseanne and yelling up the street, Wusty, at my dog. And I was like, what are these people doing? The dog's name is Wusty. I'm like, yeah, we're saying Wusty. I'm like, no, it's Wusty. Didn't know. So I find that I have to do speech therapy, right? Which did not sit well with me because I thought I was smart. And I thought that meant I wasn't, which of course we all know now. It didn't mean that. But as a child, without my mother explaining what was happening, because she's got 4 other kids she was taking care of, 3 other kids and my dad 4. Kidding. She didn't get to, I think she thought the less I knew, the better. I don't know what she was thinking, but it made me think something was wrong with me, which it was not. So I get to the speech class and it's a box. That's all I know. It was a box. That's all I recall. And in the office, everything was gray, I believe, and there was just a table and a man. And I went in, and he had pictures lined, like, cards. What are those things that you do? Flashcards of pictures where I had to pronounce the words on the flashcards. Now, one of the things about this dude was that he had dry, white phlegm on the sides of his mouth that made me want to vomit. And he needed a drink of something. Everything was like, fork. And he would hold the fucking picture of the fork. I said fork 300 times one day, but I would say fork, fork, fork. I think I still say fork. I had a problem saying caulk because of fork. Like, I think I have an issue still where I'll put an R on something to prove I can say it where it doesn't even belong. Oh, speech therapy. So anyway, this guy was like watching paint dry. And the speech classes were just fucking torturous because I was like, I'm smart. I don't have to say the word R. Like, I don't have to be able to say words with R's in them. Who cares about these words? And I was like, let's change Roseanne's name. We can get another dog and change my sister's name. Yeah, it was an ongoing issue. I went for a long time and I couldn't get it right. And I remember when I finally, and again, the fucking picture, fork. And I just wanted to wipe his face, like, get the skanky white shit. How do you not know you have that in your speech? I'm looking at your fucking mouth the whole time, you skank. It was so gross. And I'd be like, fork, ooh. Like, oh, and I'm not making a face at the fork. Go look at yourself with your dry, crusty mouth. I really did have an issue with my R's. I know it's impossible to think I had any issues. Shocking. But I did. And so I got to say Rusty, I got to say Roseanne, I got to say Resurrection and Ira Court. And sometimes, I think when I'm speeding up, which I sometimes do, I will drop the R's again and I say things incorrectly. But long story short, nothing was wrong with me. And if you have a speech impediment, nothing's wrong with you either. I just was paranoid because they didn't talk to me about it. So now I think this is what I got with my learning lesson. The lesson I learned from this is tell your kids what's going on with them. If my mother would have said, oh, look, it is what it is. They want you to be able to say the letter R. And I don't care if he's like, who cares if I didn't say it right? I don't. Anyway, I learned how to say it. Now I say it. But it was a definitely confusing time, and it made me uncomfortable feeling like I was failing at something, which I think we should never do to kids. So talk to your kids, let them know what's happening. Whoever called my mother and said I had the issue with my R's should have minded their own business. Anyway, but I went to Catholic school. Resurrection. I'll pronounce it wrong just cause now. So anyway, going back to younger Kelley and things that I did then that I don't do now, or the difference between then and now with me is pretty intense. And one of the reasons that I can weigh these things is because I'm still communicating with people I used to hang out with, and people right now, again, talking to one of my first boyfriends. And it's basically a trip, his version of me versus the real version of me. I wanted to always be the one in control and taking care of things. Like, I would be the one who bought the dinner, who any of it's stupid if it was McDonald's, like it would be me. I would be the one buying the pizza, or I always got the bigger card for your birthday, even if it was just a card and some Matchbox cars, which is what I bought one of my first boyfriends, but it was like 6 Matchbox cars. Like, I don't know what this need to control situations was, but I always thought it was kind of like, especially from a woman's point of view, financially taking care of things, I thought somehow was cute back then. And I remember going out sometime in my 20s, and I was talking to a guy who I had been on again. Oh no, I can't use that. It's only one and only on again, off again. I had dated when I was a kid, and I had said I was going on a date, and he said, do yourself a favor and bring home only the amount of money it would cost you to take a cab. Don't bring enough money for dinner. Don't bring enough money to buy him drinks. Just have enough money that if he's an asshole, you can get yourself a cab home. And I was like, I shouldn't have enough, because I would do, and I'm old fashioned in some ways, but I'm not in others. Because like I still think if we're out together, newly dating, I definitely think the man should take the check. I will not reach in my hands for a dinner check, and if that ever did happen, that's the last date we go on. I have been spoiled by the gentlemen and people in my life, my father, on again, off again, people, my brothers, of the way in which a man should behave. But when I was a kid, I thought having something about like, we're equals, now I'll buy, like if we're out and it's a new thing and you buy a round, I will absolutely buy a round. I don't think that means anything. I will pay for dinner if I suggest the date. That's another thing. I'm pretty old school. Like if you invite me, I think that means you're covering. If I invite someone to dinner, that means I'm covering the dinner. That's just the way I think. And even with girlfriends, like I'm like, oh, I really want to try this place, and I drag your ass with me to go, I should pick up the check. Some people don't want me to do that, and it's an equal split, and that's great. But with a man, which is what I date, if you're going to take me out, you're fucking paying. And when I was younger, I would pay. And so this one guy told me that you should only go out with enough money to bring yourself home. I go above and beyond a little bit with that, because again, I have brothers, and I hate to think that my brothers are always responsible for the checks or the bills, but they are. Now, I don't know what you guys feel about it, but for me, and I know I get a lot like, oh, you're not a feminist, just the way I feel about dating, and I think it's because of the men I was raised with. So going back to that, I just don't know what happened to dudes these days. Like, and I'm sure if you have a great dude, good for you, but in the dating world and being exposed as I am to so many different types of people, I can't understand what happened to guys. I don't know what happened to chivalry. It's dead. There aren't guys like my father anymore. On again, off again, I will give you this. At a table full of people, if a woman stands up to go to the bathroom or enters or comes to the table, he stands up. Now, at a table full of 20 people, the dude is fucking up and down like a jackhammer. He's up and down, and people don't know what he's doing. And I'm like, he's respecting the fact that a woman's getting up from the table, which is very old school, but he does it. Now, he does other things that are dumb. I'm like, but he does this one thing that gentlemen do, and I don't know a lot of other guys that do it. There's silly things like if you introduce somebody to somebody, men who don't stand up to introduce themselves, someone who stays seated when someone else is standing next to them, so rude. I was recently in Miami, and I had my hand semi-full. I had the dog, and I had another thing, and a man stood back and allowed me to open the door for myself. I couldn't believe it. Like, I think smoke popped out of my head. Like, who raised you that you're letting me get the fucking door? There's a child in my building that holds the elevator. I mean, the kid he's probably just out of diapers. He holds the elevator until you get in the elevator and then asks what floor. Like, just such a little gentleman. It's this kid. We need more kids like this. The next day, I'm walking with my dog through the back of the building, And a man who's working with a blower, literally in the middle of his work, puts the blower down and runs and opens the gate for me. Now that was overkill. Like, oh my God, I don't want you to stop your job. But wow, your mom did a good job. Or dad, whoever raised you, did a really good job. What happened? Where did all the good guys go? I have to believe they're out there somewhere because I'm not grabbing the door. True story, I got off the jitney in Long Island with my suitcases, and my niece was standing there with her boyfriend. First time I've ever met him. I said, hi, nice to meet you. And I turned and walked away. And I left, and he looked. I said, well, you're going to get those, right? And they almost fell over. I was like, I go, he's the man. He's carrying the bags. And it's got nothing to do with anything other than what my father would have done. My brothers would never let me carry a bag. So it's funny that to try to figure that out as an adult, like some people think, and I know I've heard it before, like, oh, you think it's got nothing to do with on again, off again, and people working from, not at all. Prior, way before that, I honestly believe if the bag is heavy, the guy should carry it. I used to say, joking on my profile when I was dating, I want a guy who can hold my bag when we're shopping. And I mean it. Like, I want a guy who's going to grab my purse and think nothing of it. I don't want a guy who's like, oh, I don't carry purses. Like, you don't date me. You're a dick. Well, not really a dick, but just not my guy. So yeah, I don't know really what happened in the world, but I really do believe that chivalry has to come back. I think it's important, at least for me in the dating world and for men in general, and to walk publicly. Walking down the street when a man doesn't get out of your way. Like, again, I have a dog, and it was shocking, but he pees against the wall. So if I'm walking against traffic and a man challenges me, at airports, like people, just when everything's a crowd, shopping, like food shopping, and I don't food shop often, but when I do, like, it's just so weird. It's weird. Things have changed, man. I like the old ways. I like the old guys. That's why I want to date someone who's like 80, who still has manners. I need an 80-year-old boyfriend who gets the door and then breaks a hip. That's what I need. That's the good old days. When I was of dating age, the men that I dated happened to be kind of Brooklyn tough guys, sort of. And you were their girlfriend, and there were certain things that were done. And yes, the doors were open for me. Car doors were open for me. Bills, checks were paid. I remember one of my first boyfriends, we were going into the deli to go buy gum, and he paid for my gum. And I was like, oh, I love that for us. I love that you paid for the gum. Well, guess what? He should be paying for the goddamn gum, because I'm going to make out with him later. He's the lucky one in this one, because he didn't want to smell my stinky cigarette breath. So gum was bought for me a lot. Maybe I should think about that. But yeah, I think the guys that I dated growing up were the guys that were old-fashioned, raised by parents who believed, and again, probably a problem, the roles of who should be doing what, which at this point in my life, I'm bossy more than I'm not. So I would probably no longer fit into that little world I was in back then. But there was a sense of what the roles were, and that, yes, no, I didn't grab doors. No, I didn't pay checks. Holding, again, my house had a screen door and then a door that pushed open. I would have boyfriends open the screen door, push open the door, but yet they would curse like truck drivers and fist fight and do stupid shit and get arrested. It wasn't like they were the most well-mannered in the whole world, like on the spectrum of being well-raised, because we were fist fighting crazy kids, but they did some cute female male roles. I was raised in that, so I feel like it's weird now to watch it happen. And it's not even like I've been the boss, right? And I enjoy being a boss, but I still don't feel like I should grab the door. I don't know if I'm wrong in this. It like gets under my skin doing shit like that. Like watching, if I go to grab a door, I expect the guy to grab it for me. Like, I don't stop. I'm not going to stand and wait for the door to be opened up. I'm going through it either way. But for a second, I'm like, ooh, I document it. I note it. Seats on trains. What are you doing? There's a woman. I will literally get up and give someone older than myself a seat, right? And when I see a guy doesn't do that, I'm like, you shithead. Like, could be your mom. Or close enough, it could be me soon enough. Here's what I think could possibly be the issue here, is that men have been so beaten up for doing the things that they were taught as kids were the correct thing to do, that it offended so many women, that now they're like, fuck that, get your own door. If you want that, then you have to know that you're going to grab the door and you're going to pay the bill and you're not going to no one's going to open your car door. I think that maybe men have become so aware of not treating women differently that they're now treating us equally in ways that annoy the shit out of me. So it's like, what do I want, right? I want to be the boss and I want to have power and control, but I want to be able to be like, I can't carry that. My little arms are so weak. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Putting suitcases above your head on an airplane, I don't do that. I ask a man to do it. I hand to God. I'm like, can you help me? I'm not fucking picking this up when there's dudes around. No, ma'am. No, sir. I guess you need to ask for it now so that a man doesn't think he's offending you, because it's a line. Like, some women are like, don't touch my shit. I'm going to get like that. But not yet. I'm borderline that. Right now, I want you to grab my bag, grab my ass when you can, grab my bags if my bags are heavy, or hold a door, or let me walk by with my dog and don't challenge me on the street because I'm on your side, and just be a gentleman. Listen, my dad would tell someone they looked pretty, he'd get in trouble. He was an owner, he was a boss. If he told people that work for him now, oh, that's a really pretty color on you, which he would have done back then, it was not a problem. Things have changed dramatically, and I'm not, harassment, I'm not saying there's any sexual harassment is okay, or any kind of gender descriptive shit that guys do at work that they get in trouble for, and women do the same thing. I'm not saying that's okay at all. If it makes you uncomfortable, it makes you uncomfortable. It just doesn't make, I want to hear it. Tell me I look cute. Tell me this color looks good to me. Tell me I smell good. I had a therapist once who told me, I miss your smell. We started doing Zoom calls, and he said, I miss your smell. I didn't fact fire the therapist, but for a hot second, I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. Illegal probably, but totally cute. No longer my therapist. But I think that I am probably the problem, because I am teetering behind. I'm like, it's okay if you say I look hot today. I want to be told that, but it's not okay. You're not allowed to say that. If you're working in a work environment, you're not allowed to say that. I don't know if you're allowed to say it like socially either. Probably not. Like, babe, don't call me babe. I kind of like babe. But only if I'm your babe, right? Like some dude at a bar calling me babe. I think it's important to recognize that maybe some things are age-related, right? Like, maybe it is truly that I feel a certain way based on the way I was raised. Now, look, my mom and dad would be well into their 80s at this point, 1938. Like, they would be old. I wish they were, but they're not. But they would have been. But that's where we were taught, right? So people, I believe, women my age, or at least me, have a certain concept of what is acceptable, what is needed, what is chivalrous, what is respectful. And I don't know if maybe it's generational, that as time changed, that kids, like, I know my niece, let me go back to my niece in her 30s, her, and at that point in her 20s, when that happened, both looked at me like they couldn't fucking believe it. Kyle's like, I carry my own luggage. I'm like, well, don't you ever do that again. Let him carry your luggage. And they thought that that was the most, but I'm like, what are you kidding? What my father would do if he saw you carrying your own luggage? My father would spun out. Like, they were just the things. Bring home flowers for your mother. Like, he never said, bring me flowers. And probably some dude wants. I actually send flowers. Okay, I just broke my whole rule. I do. I send flowers. I gotta think. It's a therapy thing. Someone write that down. But I do send flowers to on again, off again, and to men if I'm dating you. I think that's nice. I think it's cute. But I don't grab the door unless she's in a wheelchair or something. Or broken. Something's broken. If I'm grabbing the door, somebody else is broken. Unless I'm in Miami and they're just fucking watching it happen, which is what I'm still talking about. In any case, I'm spinning around here. Is it an ageist thing? Like, is it something that's because I'm 50-something that maybe 40-something, 30-something, 20-somethings don't care about because they want such equality? This is something that you were taught wasn't a good thing. And everyone now is, coming out in all different ways and what they want to be known as and what they want to relate to. Like, it's a whole different game from when I was a kid. And maybe my expectations of men are because of my age, which is kind of fucked up, I wonder. I wonder if I'm holding them accountable for things they should no longer be accountable for. I don't know. Does it change? Is it different when you're in your 30s right now? Do you grab your door and not think a thing about it? Like, is this something that's just, first of all, it can't just be me, because again, I've seen men who are gentlemen who still do these things, and of all ages. The little kid in my building, adorable. What do you think? Is it because I'm old? I gotta watch some movies. Like, what goes on in the movies these days? Like, does the guy grab the door? Like, when we were younger watching these movies, and it was like very clearly the man did these things and the woman did these things, and this is what romance looked like. And I don't know, maybe it fucked us up, fucked me up. Because it was like, there were very specific ways of showing respect. In the movies that I grew up watching, there was a form of like, I don't know if it was a romance maybe there was like this courtship that happened when I was a kid where men and women had different roles, and men pursued a woman in a way that made this chivalry it mattered. Maybe it doesn't matter. I got to go back and watch some like today's age movies about relationship. I don't even know if there are any, but like love and dating. Like when we watched romance, it was very, the cigarette comes out, someone lit the cigarette. I mean, I think I used to light my own cigarette. I don't remember, but that was very kind of sexy. The woman would take out a cigarette and the hand would come across and the man would light it, and pour your own drink. I don't know. I don't. If the wine is out, I don't know. Do I pour my own? These are things I need to think about. You know what else though? I think a man should order at a table. Is that weird? I think I'm weird. I got some shit I got to work out. Like, I will tell the person I'm with, a man, friend or dating, if I will tell the man what to order. I think I need help. I think I might be too much I'm relying too much. I'm like, my fucking head is in the 1930s when I'm, when I'm getting ready and put on my, what are those things called? Maybe it's me. Maybe I shouldn't expect a horse and buggy outside. Maybe that's the problem. I'm expecting someone to write me a letter on a plume and send it on a horse and buggy. And that's why I'm single. Or at least you could just grab the fucking door when my hands are full. Somewhere in the middle, there's a happy medium. But I wonder what it's like for kids. And for kids, I mean anybody under the age of 40 at this point in my life. You're all children. So here's the question for you guys. 20s, 30s, 40s. Are there good men left? And is chivalry important to you? And here's the thing. What does that even mean for you? There's so many different levels of it. Like, I know for some of my nieces and nephews, like mutual conversation, like equality and the respect of a conversation, and like being heard is a big thing. Where, not that I don't want that, but it was not the case in my parents' home. Like, my mother was heard by her girlfriends, and my father would say, "Oh, your mother's always yapping." Now, that's not right. It's not okay with the Edith Bunker thing. That's not okay. And if you don't know what that is, it's All in the Family. Archie and Edith, watch it. You'd hate it now. These millennials will hate that show. But anyway, I don't even know if it's allowed to be on TV now. Completely incorrect on all levels, but somehow made sense in my family. What is it that you expect? Like, what are the things that are required for a relationship for a woman at this point in your 20s, 30s, and 40s to feel like you're getting the thing you need? The softness. I guess for me, I think it means, or even if it maintains that level of softness for me. Does that even make sense? Where I can pay the bill or be in charge or do some, powerful things, but like, then that little thing of you opening the door, I think really sets the tone for the fact that there's a softness to a woman, if that at all makes sense. But I wonder what it's like for you guys. Tell me, what is required for chivalry, if that's even something you guys care about, or is that actually dead? And if so, is it better off gone? I know a lot of people probably think it is. I have girlfriends who would tell me that my psyche and my expectations are old and don't make any sense in today's day and age. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. What do you require to feel special or respected? More by gesture, because I know there's a lot of communication stuff, and that I agree with. But like, what are the gestures? Because those simple gestures mean a lot to me, at least. I want to know if it's possible to get back to the way it used to be. Are we going to go back to dating 101, back to the golden age, or is this just the new way of dating? Is it never going to go back? I'd like to be optimistic about that. And talking about things that I need to be optimistic about, one of the things I want to be optimistic about are things I can't fucking stand, because people are driving me nuts a lot. So there's a few things right now, my pet peeves, that I don't want to get started on, which I'm going to keep saying because I hate the line, but I find it funny because I don't shut up about it once I start. But you know what drives me nuts? Fucking pessimists. Here's the thing. I'm trying so hard to stay positive, even when the assholes aren't grabbing the door for me. I'm trying so hard to stay positive. When everything's going where it's going and things are changing, I'm like, I'm going to listen to my fucking manifestation, whatever, manifesting Podcast. What am I doing? Morning meditations. I can't even get my words. This is another. Menopause brain is fuck. People talk about pregnancy brain. Menopause brain is bananas because it's not stopping. It's not like I'm going to give birth to something and then it's going to go back to normal. I'm just going to get to this way until I die. That's great. Anyway, I cannot stand when I'm trying so hard to manifest positivity. Pessimists, people who find the glass half fucking empty all the time. Like if you don't have anything nice to say, look, I go on my rants, but I always sum it up with something nice, right? I love men. Grab the door, don't grab the door. I love men. I love women. I think people are great. The people I like, I love. The people I don't like, fuck you. I don't care what door grabbing you do or you don't do. You're an asshole, you're an asshole. But I'm most of the time really optimistic about things. I'm always like, it's going to be great. Things are amazing. How am I? I'm blessed. That's a new thing I say. I'm blessed. How are you? How good does that feel to say it? I do the fake smile to try to be happy before I want to kill somebody. When I know something's getting to me, I stop and I breathe. I try to speak positive because it does. Neurolinguistic programming, is that what it's called? It matters what you speak. What you speak, you bring in. So when you're a pessimist and things suck and you call me and it's like everything that's bad, I can't hack it. Because then I start going, well, if that's bad for instance, and then my brain, because I think I probably am more pessimistic than I'm not, but I'm fighting it. I'm trying to be optimistic. My friends would say I'm optimistic because at least I fake the funk. I pretend to be all positive all the time. I'm the one that you call and I go, no, but this is the other thing and this is the great thing. What's great about that is I find the fucking rainbow. I find the rainbow. So when someone is negative constantly and you chip away at my happiness, because after a while it's like, there was the SNL skit, what is it, Debbie Downer? Dude, don't be a Debbie Downer. But there's so many of you. And it's so hard because life is so difficult. There's so many fucked up things happening that if you don't really go, wow, look how blessed I am. If you don't take the time to like little things every day, I am so grateful for fucking heat, for hot water, for a pillow. Like these are the things other people don't have. So if you're waking up and you're mad about the world, like don't fucking call me. It's so annoying. And if I have to continue to say, hey, why don't you look at it that way? If I have to say that 4 times, don't call me anymore. If I have to text it, I can't. There's negative bullshit, pessimistic people with, oh, you see what's happening with the world and the government. Yeah, I'm here. I see what's happening. You know what's happening? The sun's out. It's shining. It's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. I mean, maybe we won't be. But the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life happened when I didn't fucking think it was going to happen. No one knows. Unless you're some crazy psychic, the worst thing that happens to you, the biggest life-changing shit happens on Tuesday at 12 o'clock in the middle of a normal fucking day when you didn't expect it. So stop being so pessimistic because the shit that really hurts, you don't even see coming. Boom. So stop, smile, be happy. It's fucking annoying. And the other thing that's annoying, I can't remember what is annoying because I'm so stuck on the pessimistic thing now. So the other thing that really is hard for me at this age is that I am at the age where I could be a ma'am. And I do need certain things that I used to not need. I am a little bit less agile as I used to be. And so I can hurt myself easier. So asking for help because you don't want to be that old lady. And I'm not, I know I'm not. I'm not crazy. I'm 54. It's not old. But there are, in fact, things that I need assistance with now that I used to not. So that's really difficult. Asking someone to help me with something, I find because I know at some point, I lose words a lot now. And I'm a little bit nervous about that because my mother had Alzheimer's. And so when I say crazy shit, I'm like, I go real spin. I go, did I just say that? Is this because I should be tested? Or what am I going to do? What am I going to do if I'm tested? What am I going to do? Can't do anything. I'd be spinning out until I forgot to spin out. So I'm going to just save myself the drama and save you the drama. Whatever's going on up there, I don't want to know. But I do lose words, and so I do have to ask for help sometimes. Like silly things, again, coming home packages, carrying up boxes. I used to be like, oh, how many things do I have? And I would carry my own boxes. I can't do that now. The guys at the building are great. They help me, but I have to ask because I'm not at the age where they offer. And I know what's going to happen. The minute someone starts offering me shit is the minute I jump the shark and I'm old enough to get things done for me, I'm going to be so mad. The fucking first time someone asks us to help me cross the street, I'm going to lose it. I might punch them. And be like, I'm still tough. And then I'll get arrested. It'll be a whole thing, old lady in jail. But I think that while I'm in this weird space where I'm not young and I'm not old, so needing to ask for stuff feels weird. Because I'm like, do they think I'm just being lazy or do I need to explain that I need help or what the reason is? I don't know. So I don't like pessimistic people, and I don't want to have to ask for help. The other thing I don't like that happens with age, and is an ongoing issue now, is the runny nose and the runny eyes. I am constantly dripping from places. So while I'm trying to tell someone to cheer up and ask for help, my eyes and my nose are running at the same time. It's like I look like a fucking freak. It's so crazy what goes on with your body. Like, you have constantly runny eyes. Constant. I never knew. Think about this. Your grandmother always has tissues. Why? Why does your grandmother have tissues all the time? Ask grandma. If you have one, ask her. But there's tissues in the fucking wallet. You know why? Because her whole face is running. And I'm saying it's happening. And then you sweat. Like, it's just lots of liquids in places you don't want them, and places you want them they don't come back to anymore. It's a very strange thing. But it's fine, because it is, what's the alternative? Well, I can't go backwards and forward. I don't want to speed up either. So this little transition stage where I'm not old enough and I'm not young enough is strange, to find the right way of getting the things I need done for me without having to beg people to do them. Because, I'm not rickety and don't need to be carried anywhere, though I wouldn't mind being carried. I want to do those baby Bjorns. I want a Bjorn big enough for someone to put me on their back and carry me around, because I'm just tired all the time. That's another, there is another one. I'm sorry. One of the things that change, and you don't even realize it's happening because you want to blame everything else, is that as you get older, you're fucking tired all the time. Tired all the time. Naps happen, right? It's a whole circle of life. We're going back. We go to naps, we go to diapers, right? Where we came from, we end up. That's what's going to go on. But the warning, tired all the time. And you know what we do at our age? We go and we get tests. All my girlfriends are getting tested. Oh, I got to figure out what's wrong. I'm tired all the time. Oh, you're taking a nap. How about you? Exhausted. We're all fucking exhausted because we're old. You get all the blood work you want. Well, I've done so many blood tests. I got all the numbers. Everything's fine. Except for my cholesterol level. Apparently my cholesterol's up. Whatever, I'll survive. You're tired all the time. It's exhausting to be old. I think it's because, what else do we got to do? It's like, just let's rest. Let's rest, because look, if you're my life, the guy's carrying everything. What really do I need to do? Oh, the joints. I want to talk about the joints too. All right, here's one last thing. Your body changes, right? And what's starting to happen now is your joints, especially on your hands, more than anything, your hands. I have 2 broken toes that never healed. Now, I don't know if that's an age thing or what, but I broke my toes in the last 5 years, and the second ones from my big toe are both broken, and they hurt. So if you touch my feet, I'm in pain. And the knees hurt in certain spots if I'm getting a pedicure and I have to keep my foot in one position too long. I have to do a kick. Can I have just kick it and then put the foot back? It's a strange thing. You might know what I'm talking about. But now the newest thing is my knuckles. That I was getting a manicure the other day, and she was holding like this and this finger, and I let out a little squeal like, woo, woo, ow. My fucking joints, I think I have arthritis. I don't know if I have arthritis, but that would have come in my blood, I guess. But yeah, your joints start to hurt. Nose and face runs. Pessimists piss you off. Your joints start to hurt. It's a whole thing as you get older. But anyway, it's all great. Remember, I keep telling you it is. It really is great. But it's still functionally changing. It's when you could see things and go, oh, that's an odd new ouch. There's a lot of odd new ouches that happen. So that's kind of strange. But again, you know what? You just get another medication. I'll have some blood work done. Lots of blood work done. Lots of pee and spit and analysis. See, again, I forget fucking words. I don't know what's going on. But the whole everything's weird. It all changes. And you find new things every day. When you're starting to develop, I think your brain is so underdeveloped that you don't notice the new shit. I don't remember getting boobies. I know I kind of do. I kind of remember one nipple developed before the other one, and my sister would call me Lefty, which was very mean. But then the other one happened. But then I don't really remember the progression of it, right? Like, when did my nipple become a B cup? When did that happen? I have no idea. But I think it's because you're so busy doing other things that you don't focus on the changes that are happening to get here. But when you are here, all you're focusing on is also you're just looking at your body constantly. It's the only thing you focus on, or at least the only thing I focus on. So maybe it's as many changes now as there were always changes, but there's just so many other things going on. Now I get to watch TV and watch my joints hurt. Like we get to an age where there's not that much going on. So we can be tired and take naps, and we can look at our joints and we can complain about things where we didn't even, I don't remember getting my period. I really don't. The actual getting of it, I don't remember. Wow, what other things happen as you grow? The shaving thing. I don't remember liking someone for the first time. I remember my heartbreak for the first time. I'm just wondering if maybe because we have so much time to focus on us, which makes it a great time because you get to do the things you want to do, it's also the time we're the most conscious, I think, of our own body and its changes, where clearly there's been a zillion changes to get here. So just, I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense or you follow that, but I'm wondering if that's a thing, if we're just so aware of, because we've heard so much about getting old and what that means, that every little thing that changes you blame on aging, which is just another part of the evolution of growth, I guess. I don't know. I'm getting very scientific. I'm going to be a scientist maybe in my 60s. Anyway, I'm going to forget that I said that, so it's fine. Anyway, aging. It's really great. I think. I can't remember. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm actually really stoked about aging. I'm really happy. Hope to God I get to pull through all of my 50s, my 60s, my 70s. Again, I think that my age cutoff, maybe 80. I could probably push 85. I'm excited about, aside from the things that are strange and new, the sense of peace that you have in being able to tell someone to grab the door for you, to be able to tell someone, again, it matters to me if you're negative in one of my days now, because I guess, I don't know when you start counting them, to be honest. I don't know when you do. But I mean, at this point, it's like I have right now and right here, and this is my moment. I don't want to do anything that's going to make me uncomfortable or unhappy. So get the negative shit out of there. I don't know if that's with age. Yeah, it must be with age. I'm excited about it. I like the changes. Again, it's strange because there is something new. But I feel like there's always, it's a fucking called evolution, right? Our entire lives, from birth until 54, there's been changes the whole time. Hair growth, nail growth. I mean, it's funny when you think about, I had braces when I was a kid, and I took my braces off and my teeth moved back. They didn't go back as bad, but my teeth moved back. It's like, I don't remember that happening. But somehow now, I'd be on high alert. I mean, look at that tooth and make sure it's going to, because I think we're like, warned about aging. So everyone puts this like, ooh, you're going to get old. What the fuck else would I want to do? What would I want to do? I don't want to get old. I'm blessed to be able to get old. Some people never saw 53. Some people, I'm going to be 54 in August. I'm hoping I'm going to be 54, but some people don't ever get there. So I'm like, I love it. I want to wrap my arms around 50s and 60s and be like, what is this? Let's go. I'm ready to rock. I'm just more conscious of all of the changes, I think, because people make us conscious. I mean, look, one of the things that really drives me nuts, I got too many pet peeves, but I do. Watching these commercials for like skincare lines, right? And the kids are in their fucking 20s. Oh, this puffed my skin. What are you talking about? You just got your period yesterday. What are you talking about? You use retinol. Put it the fuck down in your mother's cabinet. What are you doing playing with your mother's makeup? Oh, my skincare routine. Are you kidding me? You're fucking 6. Put the makeup down. I can't with these kids, and they're not really 6. They're in their 20s, but still, maybe in their teens. All of these makeup companies and all of these skincare lines talking about how it gave me rest. You didn't even get a wrinkle yet. How the fuck do you know what it got away? I can't with this TikTok stuff, or what is it, TikTok or Instagram. Whenever they show me, and by the way, I buy it all too, which is nuts. But I digress. It doesn't matter what I spend my money on. But I can't believe these kids are so young. And these, like, get someone our age. Give me 6 months of this pink skin thing and see how it works on me. They're putting it on their faces when they fucking still literally haven't even started shaving their armpits yet. Well, this is apparently a new thing too. Not everybody shaves their armpits. These kids these days, of course they grab their own fucking doors. Anyway, I just turned into old man at the Muppets being an old Anyway, I don't know. I think that the young kids should not be doing skincare routines and selling it. That just doesn't make any sense. I mean, doing it with your mom in the mirror, that would be a smart. I'm going to give this to you guys. Do a skincare with the mother and the daughter so that the mom can say, start now to prevent what happened to me. But don't act like you need to do it when you're like glossy and puffy and cute and everything's all in the same places and you got more collagen than you'll ever have ever again and you're rubbing shit on your face. Anyway, that annoys me. I think maybe that kids now are looking forward to getting older. I think there's way more role models for kids now to see the beautiful older women, I'm talking about people in their 50s and women in their 60s, but there's more actors working now that are in their older models working. There's a lot of reality TV shows where people are powerhouse in their 50s and 60s. But so I think that possibly kids want to age quicker. When I was growing up, Neutrogena had a young girl in Neutrogena. We looked at it to get rid of pimples. We didn't look at it as an aging thing. We looked at Neutrogena as the right way to take your makeup off. No one looked and thought, oh, we're going to not age because of Neutrogena. And I don't know what your bag is now, Neutrogena, if you're anti-aging. I don't know. I'm just saying, as a child, when I saw the commercials, my immediate thought was cleansing. These now, what I'm seeing, these young, really young people selling all kind of skincare products is mind-blowing to me. But I do think that they're so stuck on getting old, where when we were younger, we didn't think about it. My mom was my role model. I had some aunts that were role models, but I really didn't think too much about what it would be like to be 50. I really didn't. But I think maybe, and I could be wrong, I'd love to hear what you think, I think maybe kids these days want to get older. They want to get to a place of independence. I think I wanted independence, but I got independence younger. I think the whole role, we were just a different time. You got independent younger. It had nothing to do with, I didn't give a shit about skincare. We didn't even go, my generation, and I can only speak from my specific friend group, we didn't even go to the gym for health reasons. The only kids that went to the gym were the kids that were looking to lose weight. If you were thin, it was assumed you were healthy, which of course is ridiculous and not true. But no one went to the gym to get healthy at my age. You went to the gym, I'm talking about in the younger age. Now in my 50s, of course, you go to the gym to get healthier. But in the 20s and the teens, when these kids these days, they're at the gyms, they're doing Pilates, and Lululemon everyone's working out. We did not do that, which could be good. I don't know. I would love to know what the longevity is going to be of the 20-year-olds. Which is going to give you the longer lifespan? Is the ones who didn't give a shit or who started younger? Look, there was no Purell when I was a kid. I had shit, dirt, puke. I had and I wasn't a big hand washer. Sorry, I wasn't. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to be with these kids who are constantly covering themselves in Purell and exercising at 15 and 16. I don't know. We did not do that. I wonder what is going to be like when they're my age. I wonder if they're going to grow old gracefully or if they're going to continue. I don't know. Should you start these routines when you're a kid? Maybe this is something I don't know about. Maybe the little kids that are selling all these skincare products, maybe you're supposed to start when you're, I don't know. Could you be putting like Retin-A on your skin when you're still like glowy and puffy and don't have a wrinkle? I don't know. Maybe I should look into this before I have an opinion on it. But I definitely have an opinion on it. I think it's stupid. So I would prefer seeing women of a certain age using a product and seeing what that product looked like on them rather than seeing their child using the product on their way to the prom. Because if you're not glowy, then you need to see a doctor. You're already glowy from the inside. You're fucking 16. Don't be putting on all this goop and gob and sleeping with tape on your face. What is the tape over your mouth? That's another. People are taping their mouth closed. I'm sure on again, off again hopes I buy that one. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what these kids are thinking these days and why we use them to sell products and someone who could be their mother is buying them. There is some stuff I've bought of kids that I'm like, it could be my grandchild. But still, she looks dewy. They caught me. They get you. They get you, those fuckers, advertisers. I'm wondering why they haven't figured out marketing, because we're buying it. I guess the kids are probably buying it too, right? These kids are probably spending. I wonder what that would be like. I wonder if we could look at the marketing and say, if you have a certain caffeine-infused retina, blah, blah, all the shit that we need, if you put it on the market and sell it with the 20-year-old behind it, or if you put it on the market and sell it with the 50-year-old, I wonder who's buying it. Are we buying the stuff from the 20-year-old? I know I am. But I wonder if more 20-year-olds are buying it. And if we put the stuff see, that's the thing. I bet you younger people wouldn't buy if it was my face. Ha. I just found the secret of advertising. Everyone else at home was like, yeah, of course I wouldn't. But like, that's what it is. The kid sells more because kids and people my age buy it. All right. I just answered my own question. The show is over. I'm never coming back. I'm kidding. I just cured everything right here, sitting here. I discovered all of the tricks for advertising and how they caught me. They roped me in. But I buy a ton of skincare from kids who don't have wrinkles yet. So that falls on me. So it seems like a lot of the things that I'm focusing on is the difference between me and people of a different age, like being 50s or 40s. I forgot. Look, I almost jumped 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s. So I think it would probably make the most sense if I asked these questions to someone that's that age. Maybe I need to ask a younger person, someone in their 20s, what it's like. What do they think it's going to be like? What are their role models? What do you think about aging? You know, what about these skincare products? Are you buying all these things? Are you preventative skincare at your age? Like, what is the story? I understand that, like, because there's all of these social media platforms for them, it's got to be a lot more about like here's the question. Is it in the moment right now where you know you're going to be on TV, the phone, the TikToks and the Instagrams and all these things that you want to look good right this second? Or do you actually consider the longevity of what you're doing? Like, are you taking care of your body for the long haul? Or are you taking care of your body because you're going to Cabo next weekend with your girlfriends and you know you're going to be all over social media? And do these things tie together? And will it be better for you in the long run that you started taking care of yourself earlier because you're fucking everywhere all over with these online platforms? I just made this up right now as I'm thinking about it. I wonder what it is. Is it long term? I got to get someone on here in their 20s to talk about this. I have a lot of questions. So you don't even need to nap. I'll need to nap before you get here because you'll be more energetic than me and puffier and shinier from all your skincare. But I would like to have someone in their 20s come on and answer these questions for me. I want to know about the dating situation. I want to know about the skincare routine. I want to know about your pet peeves. Does it bother you when people pessimists bother you when you're younger? Or is it just because I have less time? I want to hear the shit. Very interesting. I think I'd like to get a younger guest on to talk about that. So we'll see how that works. In the meantime, you only get me. For now, there'll be guests coming on. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you for paying attention to the shit that bothers me and the things I want to talk about. I'd love to hear your opinion on anything I spoke about. And please subscribe, follow, repost, share with your friends. And any feedback that you have, I'd love to hear it. Any questions you have, please ask. But I really appreciate you coming back, and I'm very grateful. So thank you so much. And this is another episode of Still Can't Cook. And I will see you next week. Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up for another episode of Still Can't Cook. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcast, on YouTube or any other podcast provider. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, please follow us at Still Can't Cook. Love to have you guys back every week. So happy that you joined us and look forward to seeing you next week.